Hello and welcome to another episode of Youngstown Click podcast, Be Connected. I'm so excited to bring you guys a very first for the Youngstown Click podcast. But before we go any further, I would love to tell you where we're coming from, which actually impressed my guests already. We are coming from Sigaro Cigar Lounge. It's Sigaro. And it is a converted old house here in Hubbard, Ohio, right on Main Street. Guys, if you know people in your life that love cigars, this is definitely a place to come get them cigars, to bring them when they're in town. Super, super cool people here. You just never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to sit and have a cigar with. There's a members only area and a public area. And we'd like to thank our sponsor of this podcast, Ohio Flame. Ohio Flame does custom made fire pits, steel forged, and you could create your own. You could, like, if you have a cool design or a vision in mind, you could have that made. They're made in the USA, right here in Columbiana, Ohio, and they sell all over the place, have a lifetime warranty. They're not going to get all nasty and crusty and stuff like that. And really, it's a centerpiece. And I always say nothing quite brings community together like a fire, right? I mean, you're not gonna invite like the annoying neighbor over for a fire, right? So, I mean, unless you want to make them a friend, which is always an option. Okay. Oh. Thank you.
Oh, that's a long.
Okay. Yeah, if you hit it again, then it'll stop.
Don't hit it again.
All right, guys. So since you hear the voice, I have two guests on today's program. I am going to let them. Well, let me introduce why. Well, okay. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Okay, guys, we are starting a new portion once a month. Is the goal where we are doing a Waitstaff Wednesday. This is so cool. I waited tables when I was in college, and I met some lifelong friends during that time because you guys are in such a place of transition. You're in a place, it's a weird place. And if you've ever waited tables, I'm not going to say it's weird. It's weird to think about. Because if you've ever waited tables, you know that everybody is working towards something usually, or they've already done something and they're like, hey, I just want to go back to waiting tables. This is just, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a story. And that's what Youngstown Click is all about. I would like to not only give a platform or an opportunity to people with titles behind their name or people doing things that are visible. I want to give our waitstaff in this area the up-and-comers or the people with stories that we just, they collect in restaurants. I talk about you guys like it's like, you're a people group. I'm not trying to Anyway, let me just stop talking and let my guests introduce themselves and then we'll go from there. But the conversation, guys, sometimes, listen, the world's problems could be solved with waitstaff.
Probably.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Okay. So, Olivia, we'll start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olivia.
Oh, she has that nice radio voice.
She does.
Man. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Should I tell them where I'm from?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was born and raised in Youngstown, and I work locally in the restaurant business. I grew up in the restaurant business, and I currently am still working in the restaurant business.
I love it. She just can't get away from it.
I know. Oh, it's like in my blood. Like you got like chicken grease and like cooking oil just flowing through me.
That's amazing. Amazing. All right. And what about you, Noah?
Hi, guys. My name's Noah. Same thing. I was born and raised in Youngstown. Been here my whole life. I've been working in the restaurant industry the last about 4 or 5 years now. So.
Wow. Same restaurant?
Just between two. Mostly most of the last couple of years I've been at the same restaurant. Just been pretty loyal.
Okay. So this happens to be a restaurant that I go to.
That's how we met.
Oh, man. I love the flatbread. I love the avocado egg rolls. Okay, but anyway, well, I just recently met Noah.
Yes.
But the reason I have these two in particular on is because these two started a office romance.
Little scandal. It was a scandal in the beginning. It was kind of a scandal.
Okay. So tell us a little bit. Okay, tell us about, we're going to get to that. Tell us what you're working towards, kind of what brought you into the restaurant business, like why you chose a restaurant as opposed to landscaping or something like that. And then we'll get into the juicy details. No, I'm kidding. We'll get into some of the behind-the-scenes restaurant talk. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. You kicked it off, so I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
So I only got into the restaurant business just because I was going into senior year of high school without a job.
Okay.
and we were best friends with a lady at one of the local breakfast places, and she was like, "Oh, hey, we need a host and takeout. If
Okay.
you go ahead, put an application in, I'll put my name down as a reference, and that'll get you an easy." Pretty much spent a year there. COVID happened, and then just couldn't get what I
right.
needed there. Friend at the restaurant I'm at now, he was like, "Oh, we need people badly. They'll pay you pretty well."
Yeah.
So I went over there, been there ever since.
That's amazing. Is that friend still there?
No, he graduated from college, so he's on to bigger and better things. So I'm happy for him.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Is it's a transition place?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Okay, and you grew up in Boardman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you went to Boardman?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you were. Okay, now you're in college, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, I'm down at YSU, local university here. I originally started as chemical engineering. Then again, COVID hit with that. All the classes were online and made it about 100 times more difficult. Decided it wasn't for me. Considered a lot of different path changes, whether it be a different engineer, business, even just going into music.
Oh. Are you a musician as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you play?
Drums.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I was just at Jazz in the Park on Sunday. They have a free summer series, which like I never was really a jazz person, but like I am now like man, this is crazy. But they just had this. I mean, the drummers have been crazy. But this past Sunday, the guy was a drummer and the singer, so it was like he did both with a saxophone and stuff like that. But anyway, I have a profound respect for drummers. And I saw a T-shirt. It said, "The tempo will be what I tell it to be."
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So we're going to get back to the music.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're working on. What year did you say you were in?
This is going to be my 5th year of school, but 4th year for the program.
Okay.
I ended up switching to mechanical engineering. My brother talked me away from the other choices and said, stick with engineering, just go to a different type of engineering.
Wow. Okay. And
So-
are you happy with your choice?
I am. Mechanical was definitely the best way to go. I love my courses. I love the professors I've gotten to work with and stuff, so it's
That's
been really
great.
nice.
So chemical engineering is more like creating, like Roundup and pesticide. Like what is chemical engineering as opposed? I kind of get the idea, but
It's not
kind of-
like fireworks.
Oh,
In
maybe.
a-
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
I don't know.
Or lab. Ooh.
In a sense, I think so. Even like I went into it not even 100% sure about what they
Okay.
do. I know one of the biggest fields for it though is definitely like the oil and petroleum field. She has a cousin that's a chemical engineer. He works in Texas with an oil
What are the
company. So
chances?
You know
Okay.
more than me. I'm a crappy
That is-
cousin. Sorry.
wait. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense because I think they use corn to make fuel. I mean, well, I don't think. I pretty much know.
yeah,
They make corn. They use corn to make fuel. That's chemical, right? That would be
I believe so.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, so mechanical engineering. We're coming to you, Olivia. So
That's
don't
all
get
right. I'm
complacent over
chilling,
there.
no.
All right,
I'm good.
All right, mechanical engineering. Tell us what is that?
So I think that's one of the more broad like sides of engineering. You can go in almost any direction. You can work in automotive industry. You can work in
Okay.
airplane design. Just straight up machine design. That's what I've done for a couple of my classes. Like my lab last semester, our professor, he took jobs that he had done in real life.
Okay.
And then he gave it to us just kind of the bare minimum information of what the customer wanted. And
Wow.
he pretty much told us, he was like, you need to meet these requirements, but do it in any way you want. And just kind of present your findings, tell us why you use stuff, your calculations and stuff like that. So,
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
it's kind of cool. So it's not like it's just some random thing he found out of a book. This is something
Real life.
he worked on. And some of our other professors have done that too. So it's cool. Like I designed me and a group designed like a cutter machine for like the big steel coils, like with the sheet metal and
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Like, and it's just like digital designing. We didn't actually like go through and
Right.
like create it in real life, but just we did the calculations for it. We did the 3D designing and everything for it.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different paths. I'm hoping just to find a path that I like within that industry. I'm not 100% yet though.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I always thought it was fascinating to be able to design a car. Like
Yeah.
if they came to you and said, "Hey, we need this car. We need to be like good on gas," or "Hey, just be creative." Like That would be so cool because so many of the cars look so similar nowadays.
I know.
And I'm like, what happened to the creativity when you were like, that's a blank, maybe car people are still like that. But I'm like, they all look, I mean, the SUV is an SUV and it's the insides that really, in my opinion, separate it from, I mean, I drive a full-size van. Everybody, nobody could miss me. But, okay. All right, Olivia, tell us about how you got in the restaurant industry and what you're doing with your life or transitioning or whatever.
Oh, well, I was born into it. Like, my dad owned a business forever. He still does, actually. But
yes, and he has really good Italian food.
yes, he does. I was actually prepping some before I came here today.
Really? Oh
Work
my
never
goodness.
stops. Grind never stops when you work for your dad. Eat, sleep, breathe, family business.
Let me just tell you, if you see a food truck with deep fried cheesecake, you got to try it. Yes, it's so good.
It is really good.
Deep fried raspberry.
Well, the
cheesecake.
raspberry is good. All of them are so good.
Oh, that's the only one I tried, but my goodness. I wish it was bigger. I feel like, should I pay another $7 for
I know.
another
I think they
piece?
raised the prices this year.
Oh,
Inflation.
everything. I know. Oh. Okay, so
It's worth the price, though. Actually, shout out.
Yeah,
But
you'll be at the Canfield Fair, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up. Oh, boy. But so I've grown up in it forever. And then so I've pretty much been to work since I was 13. And then then the past, I worked for my dad as my primary job from 13 to 18. And then from 19 to 21, I worked in Lake Milton. My family's best friends opened up a restaurant. So I know how to manage, bartend, serve, all of that. So I pretty much did managerial stuff there. Wow. And then it's a 30-minute drive from my house. So it was like, okay, it's not worth it anymore. And, the prices of gas and stuff like that. And with school, it's just hard to because I would work open to close shifts like 60 hours a week. Then I came home and worked at the restaurant that I'm at now. I serve mainly. I work probably 5 to 6 days a week, depending. But I do that, and then I also do school. I went to school to be a psychiatric nurse because I'm really interested in mental health. Yes, my mom is
we gotta come back to that too.
Oh yeah, my mom is a healthcare nurse. So my mom really wanted me to be in healthcare, but I've always had like a desire to teach. But I decided to follow the money instead of following my heart, and I within a year changed my major to teaching, and I'm on my last year.
And this is your heart. This is what your heart is in.
Because you always get like the stigma of like, okay, well, you're not going to make money as a teacher.
Yeah.
So you pretty much should just forget it. But like serving has taught me that I can have other life skills that'll bring me money, and I might as well just make my forever job be something that rewards me internally than financially. So cool. Because it's like with serving, you can make fast money and you can make really good money. Yeah. And if you're smart enough about it and save it, like I'm paying my way through college, I'm not doing student loans and stuff like that. So by the time I get out, it really doesn't matter how much I'm making as a teacher. So that I can go ahead and still do things I'm passionate about and not have to worry about like, oh, I have this much in loans that I have to pay, so I have to go for a job that I'm not going to be happy in. Yeah. So that's how I look about it.
And I know, you make it sound so like easy.
It's definitely.
But then the restaurant you work at is open late.
Oh,
right? Yeah. And those are like late night hours. And just to see and be reminded of that hustle and that grind that it takes at your ages and the decisions to say, like I went in, declared one major, and was like, yeah, no, this is not. But a teacher had said, hey, you'd be really good at this. And I was like, okay. And then, you kind of like, so I remember that age is very, very interesting. So it's kind of cool that you each have found your path and stuff, and then met each other waiting tables at this restaurant. So let's talk about waiting tables. Let's talk about some of the worst experience.
The drama.
Yes. Okay.
The drama.
Before the relationship, just waiting tables. Tell us any like really cool moments. Like I had some really cool moments where somebody came and they just spoke into my life or whatever, and they're still impactful all these years later. Which, I mean, let's just face, it's only 3 or 4 years. But and then there was like the funny things that like may have been like oh man, these people were so, I don't even want to tell this story because it gives people ideas, but they were so smooth and stiffened me with the bill, and that was I mean, so to tell the story now. So anyway, any best or worst stories that you guys would like to share? It doesn't have to be the restaurant you work at now.
Do you want?
I think honestly the worst story I ever have, just about like some of the guests I've encountered.
Okay.
There was this wife and husband, I believe. They were regulars at one point, and the fact that they had a reputation of servers not wanting to take care of them, and it was I was early into serving. It was my first time taking care of them too. Everybody, and it was back at one point, every restaurant was going through like the bone-in wing shortages or whatever.
Okay.
So they started telling us like we can't do all flats, like it has to be like the half and half like we do regularly.
Okay.
And so the gentleman, well, not even the gentleman, his wife ordered for him. I don't enjoy kind of like the big adult child energy.
Oh,
I feel
Man, child.
to me there's a big difference
shoot.
between kind of doing it in like a cute way and then just being almost like,
or like if it's a first date and he's like, oh, I got this, I've been here before, or something like that. But
Yeah.
but that's ew.
We're both
I
old
cringe
school.
I cringe even just thinking, like picturing that story
And it's
of him,
like-
of her ordering for him.
Okay.
Like, okay, go ahead.
and it's like,
Sorry.
so then it's like, yeah, so I tell him, I was like, oh, we can't do all flats, I'm very sorry about that. And I explained because we're like the whole chicken shortage every place is going through.
Yeah, this was after COVID, right?
Yeah. And so
okay.
he was like, and he was like, he was like, I don't want those then. I was like, oh, can I get you something else then? Blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, if I can't do those, I don't want to eat anything here at all. Like, you guys can eat, I don't want anything.
Are you serious? So he sat there and they ate?
Well, he would have, but I went in, he asked to speak to a manager, and I went and we had a newly hired manager. He was maybe there a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And he was like, and I told him about it. He was like, well, like, isn't one of our things to always find a way to say yes? I was like, not in an instance like this, because you're going to make like every other manager on duty upset because they specifically said this.
Right.
And so he goes and talks to the table, and he's like, yeah, we're going to do that for you. Kitchen manager's mad. The two assistant managers that were on duty were just absolutely angry with him. He was like, they're like, don't ever do that again.
Wow.
It's like, I tried to warn him. It's like, I'm not even trying to be rude. If I can do it, I want to do it. Like,
right.
There's random little things like, oh, can my burger be cut? Sure. If the cook won't do it, I'll throw a pair of gloves on, grab a knife, because it's quick and easy.
You're right.
But it's like, if the managers are telling me this, I'm telling you this because they said it.
Right. Or even to say, sometimes it's in how you ask. Like, listen, I know that there might be something you could do. And if you can, like, I'm always like, hey, if you can, get me the biggest piece of pie. I mean, like, I'm not like, if it's not a certain size, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds horrible.
And they were like, the wife would seem like a lovely lady. She was, but then just kind of like that man-child moment just threw me off.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time I took care of them. Luckily, I've seen them a few times here and there, but it's been a while since the last time I've seen them.
Okay. Wow. Now, are people pretty good tippers? I mean,
No.
Hit or miss.
It's
hit or miss. Okay.
average, but I feel like it's so hard to
'Cause it
pay our
really
prices
has-
anyway.
Yeah. And it's honestly, things have gone up so much. Like, I remember when it was 10% was just, that was nice, and then it creeped up to 15%. Then I remember the first time it said, oh, we're adding 18%. And I was like, 18%? Right? Like, what? And then now it's 20% is if they're doing a good job, right? And then if you really want to go overboard, then you do more than 20 because 20 is expected. You know what I mean? And so you have people who just, they're not going to be able to keep up with the expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, it's such a wide range and everything's changing so fast now, you know what I mean? I mean, now you're expected to tip. This is a totally different issue, but you're expected to tip on like everything. Like, you buy a stuffed animal and they're like, turn this around. How would you like to tip? I'm like, crazy. All right, go ahead, Olivia. Tell us the story.
Let me see. I have I think one of my best was meeting you and Greg. You guys are my favorite.
Oh my!
Actually, I
goodness.
talk about you guys all the time. My family knows about you. Noah knows about you.
Oh, that makes me feel.
You guys are so cool.
I give Greg the credit, to be honest.
You guys are awesome.
For those of you who don't know it, no, I have a friend named Greg, and he's just a cool guy and so willing to he just wants everybody to be better. And he's so smart and so we have a good time.
He's so funny. And he's like such an inspirational guy, but he's also just like so hilarious. Like one day, like we talk about anything serious. Like within the same hour that you guys were there, we went from telling blonde jokes to like referring to self-help books about building trust.
That is true.
Because that's what we did.
Which Olivia and I have both bought the book about trust by Henry Cloud. Let me just plug that.
Great book.
Oh my goodness.
Great book.
But yeah, we were telling
like we talk about AI and then we go to blonde jokes and then we talk about religion. We talk about like a bunch of stuff.
Yes. I love when you can have a good intellectual dialogue and then it just flows. I love conversations like that, you know? Where there's some people, they only understand like one thing, and it's kind of hard because unless you know how to go into that world, it's kind of like it could be awkward to have conversation. I don't know a whole lot about cars, and if that's all you want to talk about, I don't like. I'll listen, but like the conversation might
nodding off. Like, what's your favorite kind of car? Blue one.
Yeah.
That's what
I have a friend who he'll hear an engine and his head will turn and he'll know the engine, he'll know the type of car and whatever. And I can't join that conversation. I mean, like if anybody else is around, they're and did you see the and I'm like, no clue.
That's my two friends. We'll be driving. They'll see a set of headlights. We'll be like, oh, 2018 Dodge Challenger, Henny engine, all this and that. I'm like,
what in the world? I know. It's like those guys who sit at Get Go. Did you see those guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think they're so cute. I love, because when I was growing up, they used to hang out at Taco Bell, and they'd pack the parking lot. Now they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, they used to hang out at the mall a lot by Chili's.
Yeah, that little big
little
lot.
car meets.
Yeah, right. You got to show off your car.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not that I ever have a car to show off. I mean, let's just
Come on, soccer mom vans are in.
I love.
They are in.
No, listen, that van I'm driving now is borrowed. Yeah, I have a full size van. It's a conversion van and with no bumper, but it has 417,000 or 419,000 miles on it, and I love that van. And literally, I will drive it until it is.
That's what my mom did with our family van. It was like a blue minivan, and she rode it until it wouldn't turn on anymore.
It was like a sad day.
Minivans are like the one. I feel like the one car you just take it to the end.
You do.
It's such a homey mom van.
I think that there's some people who form a connection. We are getting way off track, but I am somebody who I form connections with my car. Like my car through college saw me through multiple states. Like that car and me were like I don't think I really had any belongings that I took with me to every state like I did that car.
That's
so
like
when
your
it
mom.
finally died, it was like, oh, my little travel buddy. It sounds so weird to say it out loud, honestly. I can't. I might edit that part.
This whole pot. Waitstaff Wednesday, we're going to talk about cars.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If we get to talking about my car, then I could talk.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Okay. So, when you guys met, was it like, oh, he's so cute, she's so cute?
Actually, it was like he has green eyes, and I have brown eyes.
Okay.
And like everyone always like craps on brown eyes. They hate them. So I'm team brown eyes more than anything.
That is hilarious.
So
Wait,
I was
not Van
like,
Morrison, brown
so I
eyed
saw him
girl.
and I was like, oh, he'd be cute, but he doesn't have brown eyes, so I wouldn't go for him.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so
How
funny.
shallow.
Okay, wait. So you did think he was cute when you first met him?
Yeah.
So okay, and
But
what
it's the green eyes. It was just like
the green eyes threw you off.
Yeah.
Wow. Are they hazel or are they green? Like,
They're
are they always
green.
green?
Green, yeah.
Green. Oh, wow. So, they're not even turning it brown. Okay.
No.
All right. And then what about you, Noah? When you saw Olivia, who was there first?
I actually he's worked there longer than I have. I've
Okay.
only been there a year and a half.
Yeah, I've been there 3 years. So
Oh, wow. Okay. So you were working there when she came in. Okay. So did you think anything or was she just another new hire at the time?
Give the real tea because we know you lie.
So yeah, honestly, at first I just thought of her as just another new
Another
hire.
right, because the restaurant is so big.
And she seemed like a nice person at first, so it wasn't like I was like, oh, that's somebody I want to avoid.
Right.
But she was very nice. She had that nice energy at first.
Yeah, she did. I remember the first time we met her, we were sitting out on the patio.
I remember
And
that.
and you had a dog necklace or something?
I still wear it, yeah.
Yeah, aw. We'll have to talk about the dog because
We
I'm a
will.
huge dog fan.
Oh, me too.
There was a meme that I shared on Facebook, and it said, somebody was like, you have how many dogs? And it shows this guy, and he's like, I have how many I have. Don't question. Okay, so all right. So then, what happened? You thought she was a nice girl. She was like, he has green eyes.
Yeah.
Who wants a green-eyed guy?
Yeah, who does? You.
Now you apparently.
Oh, he had to get that in. You're
T-shade.
right. Oh,
T-shade.
yeah.
Where
Oh, yeah.
is
Oh,
the
yeah.
button?
Oh yeah.
Roast the crap out of me.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
he actually talked to me first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So when did you were like?
It wasn't even anything
Or was
nice.
it just? Oh, he was like, get your table more ketchup.
No,
No,
he,
no, no,
he
no,
was
no.
like, you owe me $10.
What?
It's like,
Maybe her
okay.
second week there.
He's like, you owe me $10. I was like, for what? He's like, just because you owe me $10. I said, well, get a petition, have everyone at work sign it, and I'll give you $10.
What a good comeback.
He never got that signed.
He never got a. Why did you? Was that just the first thing that you could think of to strike up conversation, or was there something behind that?
That was just the first thing I could think of because I met.
Hey guys, if you're looking for a pickup line, there you go. Okay.
You owe me
'Cause,
$10.
You owe me $10. Some girl's gonna smack him across the face. What?
I mean, because I was just if you ask anybody I work with, I'm known for just messing around with people. I can
Okay, you're a
slight
joker,
bully, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. So
But yeah, I asked her for $10. I never got the petition.
never
Wish I
got the
would've.
petition.
That would have made the story
That would be-
funnier.
It would be, yeah.
And then
Oh,
we
it would.
really connected through music.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on. I did not know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of how you start talking, but no dating or anything, and then
No.
you just kind of got to know each other. So tell me about your music thing.
So I listen to a lot of R&B and a lot of old school. I don't like a bunch of hard rap or anything like that. I
Okay.
like a bunch of feel good mood music.
Okay.
And so I sent him I sent him a couple songs by my favorite artists, and I sent him a playlist, and we would just send each other songs or whatever just to gauge each other's music taste.
Okay, so before your generation, we used to make mixed CDs.
I remember
Yeah.
those.
Mixtapes.
My dad used to make me CDs.
Oh, I loved that because you'd give this really heartfelt CD to your friend, and it just meant so much. Now it's like, oh, check out this song. I'm like, you guys have no clue what it's like to get a mixed CD.
I made him a
not
playlist
you, but
for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
but how did you share it? That's the question.
Spotify.
See.
But it wasn't
Like-
just Spotify though. She got it was a bracelet with a code you can scan on there, and scanning a code would take you to it. A nice metal
That's
bracelet.
cool. Okay, I take my words back.
Oh, no, that's okay.
He
He doesn't listen to it anyway.
Favorite part.
Okay, I know. I love it. Okay, so, all right, so you connected through music. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then who asked who out?
Why don't you tell that story?
Oh.
Because it's a funny one.
I guess, prior to us really connecting through music, I want to say, was I used to. Another thing was I would always ask her to like oh what are you good at cooking at like how about I come over, you make me dinner or something, blah blah blah.
Typical man.
And she was like, she said something about Alfredo. I was like, she's like, I make a really good Alfredo. I was like, cool. Send me the recipe. I'll go buy the ingredients. Yada yada yada.
Man, smooth. Goodness gracious.
Stuff like that, and then it's smooth up until now.
Yeah.
So then the one day,
Oh shoot.
one day at Slow at Work, I'm just standing at the bar talking to her, and I was like, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to go get dinner or something? And then I think nothing else really followed after that. And then she texted me. I left work shortly after. She texted me. She was like, hey, were you serious about like wanting to get dinner? And then the funny part was like I kind of just like panicked. It took me like about 45 minutes to even just reply to that. Oh, and it was like a 2-line answer. So
you're stuck there like.
Well, I wasn't really like hoping for anything. I was,
Okay.
because like when you're the new person at work, like everybody just tries to get to know you and like
Yeah.
you're learning everybody. So I was like, okay, is this just somebody else like trying to annoy me and be like, oh yeah, girl, what's going on? Or if it's just like,
What's going on?
like I was just like trying to figure out, because like he does mess around with people and like, oh, we should go here and go, like, so that's like how he is.
Yeah,
He's like a
okay.
very social. So I'm just trying to gauge where the relationship is.
Right.
So I didn't care either way if it would be
Okay.
like a yes or a no, but it took him 45 minutes to tell me no. Like, no, I'm not ready.
What, really? You
Yeah.
said no?
Yeah. Turned me down.
Hold
actually.
on. After like totally setting that whole thing up, I'll get the recipe.
Yeah.
Oh, are you good cooking? What the? Okay, you got it. So then, oh my.
So then
were
we
you
were.
upset?
I didn't
You
care.
didn't
I was
care.
like, okay.
He's like, no.
I was
But
like
why
more
did you
irritated.
Say, why did you say I'm not ready? Were you like? Were you? I mean, it's smart. It's smart to be honest and to gauge where you're
Yeah.
at and stuff. 100%.
I think just because like I didn't know her at all, so I really didn't.
Okay.
There wasn't enough to go on to liking her except like for her looks.
Okay,
So and it was like I didn't want to jump in anything without kind of like knowing more about her.
that was smart.
And
That was
then,
really smart.
so it was like he had a trip to Vegas planned.
Okay.
And you were 21 for only a little bit.
Yeah, a few months.
So, because I'm 23 now and he's 22.
Okay.
So he was supposed to go to Vegas and he'd never been gambling before. Meanwhile, I've been to the casino like so many times. So I was like, oh, like we should go to the casino or whatever as friends.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, sure, fine. So I picked him up and then we went to a casino and he won like $400.
Yeah.
His
I-
first time, and I
played-
lost like 40.
And I was playing with
So
money.
annoying.
My
So annoying.
my buddy gave me his money for the trip, and I gambled with that. So
He brought
way.
$100 bill, like one singular $100 bill to the casino, and that was all he brought.
And then literally
Put it in the machine, and boom.
and won 400.
I was like, okay.
So then you had extra to go to Vegas. Did you win any in Vegas when you went?
no, I was completely. I had one good blackjack hand, and I was negative the rest of the trip.
Oh, ugh.
So it's like the night went really good, and then we're like, oh, we should like go get dinner. Are you hungry? We're hungry. So then we got dinner, and then we sat in the B-Dubs parking lot till 2:30 in the morning, and then I drove him home, and
Good
we
old
sat
B-Dubs.
in the
Yeah.
driveway, and we talked till 4:30. I didn't get home till 4:30 that night.
Wow.
Just talked about like
life
and
yeah.
who we are as people. And then it was funny because he went away. Then we hung out the next day. We went
Yeah.
to lunch together and we both didn't know how we were feeling. And then the day after, he goes to Vegas for like a week.
Okay.
And then he comes back and we have the what are we talk. So what are we?
Wow, that went pretty quick though.
It did.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but when you see somebody every single the restaurant business is so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that I know that have gotten married because of meeting there. There are people who have kids together because of meeting there. I mean, it's such a interesting world. The whole restaurant, because it becomes your world. So then, how was that going back into work? And kind of saying, "Hey, we're dating." Was that awkward?
We both had friends. Like we were a group of 4 us
Okay.
friends, and it's funny because Noah's friend and my friend, like Noah's friend liked me, and my friend liked Noah.
Oh no!
So then it
Yeah.
was all like a surprise. We're together.
They did not see that coming.
No.
But we kept it on the down low for a very long time. Like it was just 2 months ago that people didn't know we were together.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long have you guys been dating now?
A year and 3 months or
Wow.
something.
Okay. So
Over a
you guys,
year.
so you guys are not like some of the people where every moment they're talking and trying to be all unprofessional at
No,
work.
like our
you guys
general
go to
manager
work.
came up to us and was like, "Thank you guys for being professional, like
I
and
love that.
not doing anything cringy or whatever."
That's so cool.
Because we have like in our restaurant, there's probably like 6 relationships right now,
Really?
and you can tell who it is, but we are not one of like the 6 you can tell.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And again, that's you can. I'm telling you, I get. I mean, oh, I remember. I mean, you kind of get the like a bubble in a bubble.
Yeah.
In a restaurant, we really do. So speaking of your restaurant, though, you really do have a lot of cool people that are working there or have worked there. Like, and it seems like once people there, they're kind of sustained. They stay there for a while. So if anybody is listening, you guys know who you are. You guys are amazing. And yeah. All right. So when I was waiting tables in Florida, there used to be a thing that you could tell of your friends who have waited tables and tell your friends who have never waited tables, right?
Yeah.
Because we say that waiting tables gives you a certain amount of character.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with that?
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's such a social setting. You have to.
It's
You have
funny
to develop
because
something.
like the two of us are so different too. Like because I don't know, like I just feel like your personality blends more with like I don't like more teenage people and my personality blends more with like older the
Yeah,
older
for
demographic.
sure.
Really? Mm-hmm. Great. Great. Now that's where me and Greg come in.
Well, that's why you blend. You're a teen at heart,
Yes, that's
middle aged actually, so that's why you get along with both of us. You're a nice blend. Greg, don't not tip me next time you come in.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man. Okay. So yeah. So we that is funny. So okay. And again, cultures are different, but like in Florida, we would all hang out after the restaurants closed. So the restaurants would close at a certain time, and then everybody would kind of like hang out afterwards. And we'd always notice that the when somebody would invite their friend to come hang out, they always seem to feel out of place because no matter where you are a waitress or a waiter at, or bartender or whatever, like there was that sense of camaraderie no matter where. Is that also around here, or is that more like a Florida thing?
I think there's like a small sense of it here.
Okay.
But I feel like people have brought their friends in and kind of like hung out with like the restaurant friends.
Yeah.
Like the restaurant friends, and like we just kind of all mingle well, I feel
Right.
like.
I think everyone we work with is people, like people first. Like we don't really care about what profession you have. Like we all are just like
it's
about
just about
people.
rather. Okay. Awesome. That you know what, that to the heart of it, that's really probably what it is. So there is a kind of like a network of waiters and waitresses in this area. Like you guys kind of like get to know,
Oh,
is that
for sure.
there is that here? Okay. So
Yeah.
I've never really, I don't think I've ever waited tables here in town.
You
And
can
so-
definitely tell like who's there because of the money and then who's there because they have the personality to be there.
Got it.
And we
For
work
sure.
with both.
Right.
We definitely work with both.
Okay. All right.
It's so different. Like it's so unique to see like who meshes with people well and who just like don't care about the tables and who just wants the tip at the end of the night.
Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And I think the customers could probably feel that too, So let's talk about your generation.
Oh, I love talking about my generation. Hurting feelings. I love it.
Woo, woo, woo. Oh, we're going here. All right. Tell us. Okay, just give me some perspective. Okay, there's a lot right now, and I'll just throw out a few things. So there's a lot right now with a lot of young people not wanting to work, not showing up for work, being confused about their identity, not knowing who to listen to. There's so many voices out there right now, especially there's a lot of hurt, and then obviously and now with the teachers in Youngstown. Going on strike, so now they don't know if the school's going to start. You guys lived through COVID, so there was that start, stop,
Yeah.
fear. I mean, just so much. So, tell me what you see going on in your generation, in your friends, and your peers, just in the world around you. Just talk about it.
We talk about this a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And I do. We talk a lot about like how it is now and versus how we want it to be when we have kids. I think my take on it is that mental health is glorified a lot now. Like, you're not accepted unless you have some sort of mental.
Wow.
Yeah. Because,
Wow.
like, during COVID, that's where a lot of people came up with, oh, I have schizophrenia, or oh, I have multiple personalities. And I think it's a lot of, like, if you weren't some way mentally, I don't want to say ill, but for lack of a better term, ill, then you weren't considered somebody who mattered in a way.
Wow.
That's what I see on the internet. Because everyone has depression, everyone has anxiety, naturally, yes, but it's either you have none or you have this like very high strung, like I need medication, I need all this attention. It's not like the normal, everybody has it. It's either like you don't have it or you have it times 100.
Right. And you know what? I've seen that. I know exactly what you're talking about. So it's interesting to hear you say that you see it being in that generation.
Yeah.
What about kids you go to school with? Are you seeing, because I think what it is people are hungry for attention. They're hungry for love. They're hungry for somebody to say, hey, it's going to be okay. But as a healthy, hey, I'm paying my way through college, or hey, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. And nobody's necessarily in society is going to go, hey, good job.
Yeah.
Hey, good man, you're doing such a great job. So it's almost like you have to create this sense of something that society says is like, so that you get that.
Yeah.
When really all they want is love and affection and attention.
Yeah.
So So do you see that even in college? Like,
I wouldn't say not so much in my major, not to kind of, I hate to like kind of rag on other majors, but it's definitely more like in the arts, just because, that's the
more
area.
emotional and feeling.
Like more expressive they can be.
Okay. Do you also feel like, all right, so this, I feel like Olivia is right. A lot of the people I'm picturing and the things I'm picturing comes in the form of a lot of the females, right? What is the biggest challenges? Like, what's going on in the guys who are a lot less expressive generally?
I think it really comes down to, that's one thing I do hope gets better. It's just like people are raised to not be expressive, and that becomes like a problem. Some guys can grow out of it. Some guys never do. And I feel like unless you really work on it, it's going to hinder your life. Like I'll always say, no matter how big or small your problem is, therapy can always help you in some sense. I would never recommend going to somebody and getting prescribed medicine.
Right.
But having like a way to talk and kind of express to somebody like that you can confide in that may not be someone you know personally helps a lot.
That's interesting too, because as a man saying, hey, I'm going to go into this, I want to have kids, I want to provide for my family. There's so much uncertainty in the world ahead of you. Do you feel that? Do you feel like that's a thing? Yeah,
and like even myself, I do go through that a bit. Like the biggest thing right now is like the housing market and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, like being an engineer, I know I'll make a nice amount just to like even to start off with, but even still kind of thinking about like, and I know better than to live above my means. I know to live within or under. It's like, what do I have to do to give the life that I want to my future wife, my future kids, everything like that. It has gotten to me, especially when I was in that breaking point of whether I was even going to drop out of school.
Wow.
Or if I was going to, like, what I would continue with.
That's amazing. I mean, that's really cool. Thank you for allowing us into your head in that way, because that is something that people don't talk about. Nobody wants to show their fears, their vulnerabilities, but yet when somebody voices it, everybody's like, yeah. Me too. I mean, it's truly, that's really, so I know you guys, okay, let me put it like this. Other than your parents, who would be the biggest mentors in your life? Do you have, I know that it's lacking for generation wide. So would you guys say you have good mentors in your life?
I think social media de-influences me to be like the people I see on social media.
Wow.
For me personally, I just feel like it's just so unrealistic, and just like, because I know like if the internet were to shut down, I would have a job and half the people on the internet would not have a job.
Right.
So it's like, I don't ever want to put myself in a position where I rely on other people's opinion on the internet, or I rely on like payment from the internet.
Right.
Like I'd rather rely on myself as a person than
Right.
rely on strangers online.
Right. So, and you mentioned one time in one of our conversations that you see a lot of your peers or people on your social media changing their whole identities based on what is the trend, right? So like they transition, then they detransition, and then it's popular to be this way and then not be that way. Let's go back to your short training in psychiatric mental health. My goodness. Okay. Wow. First of all, okay, so let me just, wow, this is about to take a very serious turn, okay? But hey, we got a few minutes. Yeah, we got
time.
Yeah, we got some time. Before I have you guys give your closing state arguments. I'm kidding. No, okay, so I ran into a lady who has worked for years at a lockdown mental facility, right? And the majority of the people she works with are women. And she said this, I want to make sure I state this right. She said, I have seen people with, I've seen people go through sexual trauma that have not developed a mental disability, right? But she said every single person, every single woman that I have worked with that has developed a severe mental disability or diagnosis has gone through sexual trauma, right? And that stunned me because it doesn't surprise me, but it still stunned me with the amount of trauma that creates what we know as mental health issues. But people are not focusing or even talking about it or telling parents, hey, you need to protect your children. I mean, there's voices out there. So instead, we're focusing on this mental health. And obviously, we got to protect people who are, victims and stuff like that, no doubt. But I guess my question is, do you feel I know that you didn't stick with the path, but do you feel like sometimes the medication and the everything is a little bit give me your perspective on that. If I had to say, hey, you redo the system, and of course we're solving the world's problems in Sagaro, so it's not like it's not like any big budget's going to ride on our conversation right now.
I just think I've never been a fan of medication. I'm one who has this fear that if I take sleeping pills, I won't wake up. So medication scares the crap out of me. But I feel like I'm still a big mental health advocate, but in the right ways. I find ways to kind of pinpoint situational trauma, but I don't like to glorify things that are just over exaggerated for attention.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is just someone wanting to be heard rather than someone needing actual help.
This is so deep. She is so deep.
I am.
My goodness.
I know, sitting in my section, you'd have no idea. You think I'm just the most basic girl ever.
No, I love it. Keep talking.
But I just because I have my own, I've had to teach myself because I just I keep a journal. My journal's 3 years old, and I go back and I read pretty much everything I've written down. And I feel there's no better advocate for yourself than yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel the internet puts this big, oh, you need to do medicine. You need to have such extremities of depression or anxiety or any mental health that it's only important if it's so extreme. But I like to kind of stop it where it starts and not wait until you blow up and have to deal with it then. So I'm helping my sister right now. She's got she's dealing with a lot of things in her life that are confusing. So I try to break down, okay, why are you feeling this way and what caused it?
So
Instead of just trying to be well, you have anxiety, there you go, there's some medicine.
Right.
So I think the healthcare system tries so hard to get money rather than to get people help. Because it's easier to just be okay, you have depression, here's some pills, and then if they don't work, we'll up your prescription or whatever. So I think the world is so focused on money that it just actually is more hurting people's mental health than helping it like they want to say it does. So for me, I would focus more on free therapy or self-help groups or stuff like that. I would take medicine completely out of it because sometimes medicine creates the mental health diagnoses and illnesses, and it doesn't necessarily make them go away.
I agree.
Plus, I think the more you depend on something, the less of yourself that you have.
Right. Plus, it takes a lot of our personal responsibility off. In a situation where I saw this young 16-year-old girl, maybe 15, and she told me she got put on anxiety medication, and she was just such a bubbly, like I knew her since she was a little kid. And I said, what? What are you feeling? Like, what makes you so anxious? And she said, school, like everybody, like she was feeling this anxiety from school. But in further introspection, I start realizing, okay, her mom's in a relationship with a unsafe man. She was in back and forth. There was a lot of family differences, and which resulted in her having to change schools, which meant having to make new friends, which meant not getting played with on the playground. And so instead of saying, hey, let's meet together as a family and say, hey, your child is suffering. So what can be done so that you guys are protecting her? Instead, not one person, to my knowledge, ever looked at the parent and said, hey, like your daughter's struggling. So they gave her medication and then she was fine. And in no amount of like saying, hey, maybe you don't need that, maybe like whatever, because the doctor said, I have anxiety and whatever. And so now that stopped working as much, and then it's a big circle, and then it's this, and then it's that. And this beautiful, vivacious, upbeat little girl is now a very unhappy, depressed, very up and down young woman. And it's so hard to watch.
I think it's like, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like how I look at it is Band-Aids are easier than stitches. So it's easier to just like do medicine and put a Band-Aid on something rather than to like go in and stitch up the problem. Because like going and actually getting to the root of the problem is stitching it. So people are like, it's easier to just put a Band-Aid over something than because like, for example, we were carving pumpkins for Halloween, and I sliced my thumb open. Oh. And I was like, I'll just put a Band-Aid on it. And Noah's like, nope, we're going to get you stitches. And I was like, no, just let me put a Band-Aid on it. So it's like, it's harder to do the actual like repairs, but you feel better, and it's better for you in the end than just like bandaging it up.
And one is meant to say, okay, let's promote healing in a proper way. That's a great analogy.
That's how I've always like thought of mental health, is like Band-Aid and stitch.
That is really, really good.
The sound effect board.
That was like so good.
Oh, God.
All right, listen, we got
give myself an applause for that insight.
Such great insight.
Henry Cloud, I'm coming for you.
Her book will be coming out in 2024.
Autograph signings
Olivia
here.
Primavera. Yes, a cigarro. You guys have heard her first on Youngstown Click. Be Connected podcast. Okay, all right. Noah, take us out with some final thoughts. And then, if you wanted to give a message to your generation or to your peers, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, it's all good.
What would the message be?
I guess like the first half would kind of be about like the service industry. Like we're just people too. We're just trying to get by, pay our bills just like the next person over. But I guess for the generation itself, try to be more open with people. Like you don't know. Like you can be closest with your best friends, not know what they're going through. So even give your friends an opportunity to know what you're going through. It may not be the biggest solution, but at least
you're talking.
They'll have somebody there. It's better to get it out than hold it in. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, see, now you just made me want to go another hour because we could talk about community and the importance of community.
If you guys want a part two,
health,
let her know. I'd love to come back.
Right. By popular demand. That is so good. That is so good. It's, I literally, this is crazy. So my dryer broke down and I posted on Facebook, hey, do any of my friends know anyone who fixes dryers, right? Mm-hmm. Do you know, it took me about 20 minutes before I actually posted that because I hate asking for help so much that even saying that I had a need was like, no. I had to literally go in my brain and say, what's the worst that people are going to think about me if I put this on there? And I was like, they're going to think I have a broken dryer. And I was like, and I do have a broken dryer. So it's okay. Like, but that's the process that had to go on in my brain before I made this post that to other people might seem normal. Oh, does anybody know? But for me, that was like a whole process. And there's people like that out there but that sense of community and camaraderie when people are like, hey, what's happening? What's going on? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is so heartwarming. And we rob ourselves of it because we will not open ourselves up to our friends and our family. So Noah's book will be coming out in 2024.
Maybe you'll have like a couple chapters in mind.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a little more insightful.
It'll be like the core of the book will be like a whole separate book. It'll be like the first of its kind, like 5 in 1. All right. And then I'm going to come back to you and ask for one or two of your favorite places in Youngstown, other than the place you work, to eat or to go, or just recommendations where you're like, dude, these are my favorite places. And with that, then we'll wrap it up. But Olivia, tell us words for your generation, words for the community, words for...
I do think the piggyback off the we are people too. I think like a lot of people take their day-to-day aggression out on your server, and it's just like, please just grade me on my service. Don't grade me on the food. Don't grade me on, the atmosphere. Like, grade me on me. And I think that's like, servers are people too. We have bad days just as much as we have good days. So it's like... I think if the world was just kinder to people in service, like my mom said the other day, like people, like the service industry mattered when COVID happened, and then it kind of, the appreciation for them kind of faded out as time went on. So it's like, I'm here just trying to make a living just as much as anyone else is. I'm in a different setting than, someone who may be my guest at the table, but it's like, you can make some really, really amazing connections with someone who's your server who you may not even think is on the same level as you.
Right.
But like with you and Greg, like you guys are an amazing connection I've made just serving tables.
That's amazing.
Shout out again, Greg.
I know. It makes me smile. And I'm sending this to him. I'm going to definitely send this to him. He'll be listening.
So that's
we should
nice
just go
for the
for
community.
5 minutes talking about the greatness of Greg.
Oh, I
Greg,
would.
The Greg. There's part 3. Greg.
Greg. I wish he would have been here.
And he did write a book, so we don't even have to wait till 2024 to read his book.
I better get a signed copy, Greg. A signed copy. You hear? A signed copy.
A signed copy.
I better be in like the, what is it?
The
acknowledgments page.
Right?
My favorite server.
Yeah. Thanks for making this happen.
But I think for my generation, a thing would be to just, I don't know, to just not try to be an extremity. It's okay to not be loud and, seen. It's okay to sometimes just be yourself and not, aspire to be famous or aspire to be everybody's person. Just be your own person.
I love that. You are so beautiful and special just for being, right? We're called human beings, not human doings, not human showings, just human beings.
Because you're beautiful in somebody's eyes. You don't have to be in everybody's. And
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. That was
you called somebody beautiful, though.
I did. I did. I know, and that's totally a joke because I really do see beauty in every single person.
I think being unique is the biggest compliment somebody can give you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, let's wrap it up.
Places to go in Youngstown.
Yes, some of your favorite places to go. And then if you want to, you don't have to. You could give them an Instagram handle or some sort of handle, but you don't have to because I know that it's putting yourself out there.
We both don't post on Instagram, so if you want to see a blank page, you can follow Armita's Cucina, though.
Oh, there you go.
Sponsorship,
Okay.
That's one of my favorite places to go.
Okay, I was going to say, okay, yes. We're coming back to that. Noah?
I'd say not necessarily like downtown Youngstown, but in the Boardman area, 100% Norma's Casa de Tacos. One of the most like authentic places you'll find
on
around
Market
here.
Street?
Yeah, see, it's a little bit hidden, like a little bit past the dealerships, but it's amazing. Like best tacos you'll find in the area. Not like I love some of the other restaurants.
Just to give people, it's where the old Eaton Park used to be, like in that plaza, right?
Yes, ma'am.
On Market Street. Okay. Mm-hmm. Norma's Casa de Tacos.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. All right. Is that all you got?
And then Gia Angelo's. It's a really good Italian place.
You know who else mentioned that? Kelly Pavlik last week mentioned Gia Angelo's.
So
that
good.
place must be amazing.
It is really good. Their Italian fries are 100 out of 10.
What? Really?
It's so good. Everything there.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. All right.
And then obviously Armita's Cucina. That's the family business. Come by and get an autograph.
They'll be like, man, so many people love this food. And they're like, no, they're just waiting for Olivia's autograph.
Give me my own celebrity moment after I told everyone don't be a celebrity. Hypocrite.
Oh, my goodness.
goodness. That was perfect timing, though. I gotta give you that.
And then probably another one is Magic Tree.
Oh, yeah.
We love Magic Tree.
Tree. Okay, what do you get there?
We usually they have like a pound pretzel. We get the pretzel. We get spinach and artichoke dip. And they have like a ton of different beers and stuff, and they're not the same all the time.
Yeah, rotate.
Oh, they rotate them.
And the staff is so nice. We have one server who we have every time. She's so sweet.
See, again, okay, now real quick, just to reiterate, the reason why we're doing Waitstaff Wednesdays is exactly what just came out of your mouth, is when you're telling somebody about a restaurant, yes, the food is so important, but 9 times out of 10, when you're giving somebody a compliment or like you're giving them word of mouth publicity or whatever, 9 times out of 10, it's, oh, the staff was so great. If you have good food and crappy service, it destroys everything. People are like, yeah, the food's good, but the service is horrible. So that just reiterates the importance of good service and just remembering to see past the fact that, oh, they're waiting on you, and see the person that's waiting on you, and you get to know some amazing people.
Yeah.
You know, which is really cool. The Youngstown Click, honestly, is made up of the people I've met out in the community that are part of Youngstown Click. Like, I'm just so wowed and humbled, and so like I walk away with a smile on my face because they are amazing people. So I feel like I'm preaching to the choir when I say to like appreciate Waitstaff, because it really is. And now you guys are part of Youngstown Click. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So you're never really far away from another Click member. But if you guys happen to get a waiter named Noah or Olivia, ask them if they're part of Youngstown Click.
Obviously.
Yes.
Do you want my autograph?
Right.
I want yours on your receipt.
Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. So this has been so amazing talking to you two. Thank you for taking the time to come on your day off and talk with us.
Thank you for having us.
This has
been
been
so much
effortless.
fun.
I can't believe it's been an hour already.
And I feel like I
hope
could
you guys-
just keep going.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening. You guys, I always say, are the best part of what makes Youngstown Click. Youngstown Click covers the region between Pittsburgh and Cleveland, and kind of exists to create connections between local places and faces, and just expand your world and make it richer by giving you a reason and an opportunity to step outside of your normal routine and comfort zone and try something new. And I'm so thankful that you guys are a part of it. Don't forget, we are at Cigarro Cigar Lounge. Thank you so much to them for allowing us to meet here and provide a comfy place for us to sit and chat. And then don't forget to check out www.ohioflame.com. Custom-made fire pits. They believe in Youngstown Click, and they have sponsored this podcast, so we're super thankful to them. Make sure you check them out and give us an invite to your fire when you get one, when you have one. So
yeah, for sure. We'll bring a bunch of stories for you.
Stories and cigars.
Stories and cigars. All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here.
Oh,
Thank
look
you,
at that.
Stott. You guys are so kind.
Wow, you're like such a good actress. She should be on the radio.
It's crazy.
Total voiceovers. Like that would be like one
Pure
of those
accents.
like voice stories. Oh, does she do accents?
I could talk in a British accent. I should have done that the whole entire podcast, actually.
That is amazing.
Thank you so much. Whenever there's a British person at my table, it takes so much to not talk to them like this.
That would be so funny.
I had some lady who was like, I fancy a water. And I'd be like, I fancy getting it for you.
All right. So take us out with the Youngstown Click. You could either say Youngstown Click, expanding your click in a click, or Youngstown Click, you're the best part of what makes Youngstown Click. And then that'll take us out in your British accent.
Oh, God, I think I need it written down. What is it? Youngstown Click, be the best part of your click?
Be the best part of, no. Youngstown Click, you're the best part of what makes Youngstown Click, or Youngstown Click, expanding your click in a click. You see what I'm saying? See that play on words?
I got to hurry up and write that down.
Oh, my goodness. Listen.
Youngstown Click.
Youngstown, just say something nice about Youngstown Click. Just make it up as you go. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Youngstown Click, be the best member of your clique. I think. Cheerio.
All right, guys. Until next time, thank you for listening.